Welcome to the setup for my June bullet journal. For this month, I chose a nautical theme because that just feels so summery to me. It's finally June, the weather's super warm, and what's more summery than like a beachy, oceany theme. On the cover page, I'm using a ruler to help make straight lines for that classic nautical blue and white striped thing. And on top of that, I'm going to use metallic marker for an anchor. And I think that that'll really pop out on the page against the white and blue in a really nice way to open up the month. Originally, I tried washi tape instead of the ruler to make the straight lines, but it ended up tearing the page. So I definitely recommend not using the washi tape and just using the ruler instead. It was a lot easier and more easy actually than I thought it would be. Over all of this, I used the metallic Sharpie in the gold color. It gave a really nice shimmer to the page that I am going to enjoy all month. And I was really excited that it didn't bleed at all. Actually, the Crayola Supertips bled more than the Sharpie did. For the calendar, I decided to go for a more simple theme and just do stripes instead of doing individual boxes for individual days. Above this, I kept with that anchor theme, and I'm kind of going for like under the ocean type thing. So there's bubbles in gold and blue. And for these, I made a pencil outline over a stencil, but I decided that I didn't want to use the stencil to actually make the circles, which I did actually use for circles later on over the calendar. On the opposite page is my gratitude tracker, and I'm just using the same bubbles to mark out each day. So there's a bubble for every day of the month in June, and then next to it I'll just jot down something that I'm grateful for. I really like the easier gratitude themes that don't have too much stuff involved in it. Back to the calendar, I'm using that stencil to outline the circles. It did smear with a Sharpie, so I don't know that I would use it for the circles again, or I'd have to be extra careful. Going over the pencil lines with the marker was a lot easier and quicker anyway, and it had a lot less smearing, so by the end of it, with the smearing of the stencil versus the slightly imperfect circles, I'd rather just do the slightly imperfect circles instead of smearing. I've changed up the weekly spread just a little bit from last month, and I'm doing all 7 days on one page, and then a notes section on the next page with those habits / tasks that I have repeating every single week. I like the notes section because I think it gives me somewhere to jot down things like lists, ideas, etc., instead of having to try to squeeze that into the daily sections. I used a blue fine liner to outline all the boxes, and then I am using the stencil to outline those circles, and this is when I really found that it was smudging a lot and it was kind of hard to get those perfect circles. As you can see, the ones over the habit trackers, I actually took a break from that to let it dry for a minute and then had to go back in and do the rest of the circles. Now for the final flip through. I am obsessed with how shiny the pages are with that metallic marker.